was so excited to talk to you, but it was over our video last time.
But we had a great chat.
Yes.
In the summer of 2002, under the blazing studio lights of a brand new show no one was sure would succeed, a young woman from Texas stepped onto the stage with shaking hands and a voice she wasn't entirely convinced the world wanted to hear. Moments later, that world would never be the same. Her name was Kelly Clarkson, a waitress, a theater usher, a girl who'd been told countless times that dreams were irresponsible luxuries. She had no money, no industry connections, and no idea that the next 90 seconds would launch one of the greatest vocal careers of her generation. But behind the smile she carried that night was a lifetime of silence. The silence of a home broken too early, a silence filled with rejection letters and dead-end jobs. A silence she learned to survive by singing her way through it. And yet, when her voice finally broke free, raw, powerful, unstoppable, it didn't just impress the judges. It shook a nation that suddenly realized it was witnessing something rare, a star being born in real time. How does a girl who grew up believing she was invisible become the first American Idol, a Grammy-winning icon, and one of the most influential voices in modern pop? This is the story of Kelly Clarkson, the heartbreak, the triumph, the battles behind the spotlight, and the extraordinary rise of a woman who dared to sing through the noise. Kelly Brianne Clarkson was born on April 24, 1982, in Fort Worth, Texas, the youngest of 3 children in a family that was already beginning to fracture. When Kelly was just 6 years old, her parents divorced, scattering the siblings across different households. Her brother went to live with their father, her sister stayed with an aunt, and Kelly remained with her mother, Jean, a schoolteacher doing everything she could to hold the pieces together. The separation left Kelly with a quiet ache she carried through most of her childhood. She often described herself as the independent one, the kid who didn't ask for much because she knew how hard life already was for everyone around her. Money was tight, and Kelly learned early how to blend in, how to stay small, how to avoid being a burden. Yet in that silence, something unexpected began to grow. One day in 7th grade, as Kelly hummed under her breath between classes, a choir teacher overheard her. He stopped and asked her to sing louder. Reluctantly, she did, and the sound changed everything. It wasn't just a good voice, it was a force. A resonant, emotional, powerhouse tone that could fill a room and command attention she'd never once asked for. Her teachers encouraged her to pursue music, but Kelly kept the dream tucked close to her chest. She'd seen too much disappointment to risk wanting something that big. Still, deep down, she knew she had found the one place she didn't feel invisible, the one place where the world finally listened. After graduating high school, Kelly Clarkson didn't head to a prestigious music academy or a high-profile audition. She went to work, anywhere that would hire her. She washed dishes in neighborhood diners, folded clothes in department stores, worked as a movie theater attendant, and took late shifts as a telemarketer. Every paycheck went toward one secret goal, saving enough money to record a demo. When she finally stepped into a small, low-budget studio in Texas, she believed it was the beginning of something. Instead, it became a series of closed doors. Labels praised her voice but rejected her look, her style, or her marketability. Some told her she was too normal for pop. Others said they already had enough female singers. The disappointment was constant. But so was her determination. With no progress in Texas, Kelly packed her car and drove to Los Angeles. She worked in comedy clubs, slept on friends' couches, and handed out demo CDs to anyone willing to take one. But fate had one more blow waiting. A fire in her apartment building destroyed nearly everything she owned. Broke, overwhelmed, and with no safety net, she returned to Texas, convinced that maybe music simply wasn't meant for her. Then, out of nowhere, opportunity knocked in the strangest way. A friend handed her a flyer for a brand new singing competition. Kelly didn't believe it was legitimate. She thought it was a scam. But she agreed to go, just for fun. She had no idea she was walking into the audition that would rewrite her life and American music history. When Kelly Clarkson walked into the American Idol audition room in 2002, she had no strategy, no vocal coach, and no expectation beyond singing her heart out. What she didn't know was that she was stepping into the cultural phenomenon that would define an era. The moment she opened her mouth, the judges exchanged looks, that rare mix of relief and astonishment that said, "We just found the one." Week after week, Kelly delivered performances that felt less like competition entries and more like moments raw, emotional, unapologetically powerful. While other contestants tried to impress, Kelly connected. She wasn't just singing. She was telling her story through every note, every belt, every trembling breath. America responded. Millions of viewers voted, week after week, for the girl from Texas who seemed to rise higher every time the stakes grew heavier. On September 4th, 2002, the confetti fell. The lights blazed. And Kelly Clarkson became the first ever American Idol, setting a standard no winner after her would ever truly escape. Her coronation single, A Moment Like This, didn't just debut. It shattered a 38-year Billboard record, leaping from no 52 to no 1 in a single week. But Kelly didn't stop at being a TV star. She wanted to prove she was a real artist. With her second album, Breakaway, she did more than that. She exploded. The record became a global phenomenon, selling over 12 million copies and spawning hit after hit. Since You've Been Gone, Behind These Hazel Eyes, Because of You, Walk Away. It earned her 2 Grammy Awards, including Best Pop Vocal Album, and cemented her as one of the defining pop-rock voices of the 2000s. Fans adored her authenticity. Critics praised her emotional intensity. And in the span of a few short years, the girl who once struggled to pay rent became a world-touring, arena-filling superstar, a powerhouse who proved she didn't just win a show. She earned a place among music's elite. Kelly Clarkson was no longer the contestant America voted for. She was the artist America believed in. For all the triumphs lighting up Kelly Clarkson's rise, there was a side of her journey that the spotlight rarely showed, a growing storm behind the scenes, fueled by pressure, expectations, and the brutal machinery of the music industry. The first blow came when Kelly refused to become the kind of pop star her label wanted. After the massive success of Breakaway, RCA expected another glossy, radio-friendly record. Kelly wanted something darker, rawer, truer. She wrote My December from a place of emotional pain, heartbreak, loneliness, exhaustion, a far cry from the polished hits executives demanded. Her label pushed back. They called the album uncommercial. They tried to block its release. They even urged her to remove songs she believed were the most honest work she had ever created. Kelly stood her ground and paid the price. Promotion was cut. Interviews were limited. The album was buried before it even had a chance. The media framed her as difficult, stubborn, even a diva. For a woman who built her career on authenticity, the narrative hurt deeply. Then came the relentless body shaming. For years, tabloids attacked her appearance more than her music, dissecting her weight, speculating about her health, turning her body into a public talking point she never asked for. Kelly confessed later that she struggled with depression, that her happiest years didn't always match the versions of her fans saw on stage. Fame, she learned, didn't protect you from pain. Sometimes it amplified it, and when she thought she had finally found stability in her personal life, another heartbreak came. Her marriage to Brandon Blackstock unraveled publicly and painfully. The divorce became a media circus, legal battles, financial disputes, headlines that treated her private grief like entertainment. Yet even at her lowest, there was something distinctly Kelly about the way she faced it all, not with denial but with honesty. Not with bitterness, but with endurance. The world expected her to break. Instead, she began rebuilding piece by piece, song by song. Out of the turmoil, Kelly Clarkson did what she had always done best. She turned her pain into power. Her resurgence began with Stronger in 2011, an album that didn't just revive her career. It redefined it. The title track, What Doesn't Kill You, Stronger, was more than a hit. It became an anthem, a battle cry for everyone who had ever been knocked down and forced to rise again. Kelly wasn't just singing about resilience. She was resilience, but her rebirth didn't stop at music. In 2018, she stepped into a new role as a coach on The Voice, bringing warmth, humor, and an unfiltered honesty that made her a fan favorite almost instantly. She wasn't performing for the cameras. She was being the same Texas girl who had survived the industry by staying real. And audiences loved her for it. Then came The Kelly Clarkson Show, a daytime talk show that shocked critics by becoming a runaway success. Kelly's empathy, quick wit, and willingness to be vulnerable earned her multiple Emmy Awards. She wasn't trying to act like a celebrity. She was simply Kelly, open, messy, human. Relatable in a way few stars ever managed to be. At the same time, she threw herself into philanthropy, supporting children's charities, education programs, and organizations helping victims of domestic violence, causes that reflected her own life experiences and emotional journey. Kelly didn't just rebuild her image. She rebuilt her life on her terms, with her voice, and with a strength she had fought hard to reclaim. Today, Kelly Clarkson stands as one of the most influential and enduring voices of her generation, not just because of her vocal power, but because of the emotional truth behind it. She never crafted a celebrity persona, never tried to appear untouchable or perfect. Instead, she built a legacy on honesty, vulnerability, and the courage to stay unapologetically herself in an industry that constantly demanded the opposite. From American Idol champion to global pop icon, from chart-topping singer to Emmy-winning host, Kelly has shown that success isn't a straight line. It's a fight, a fall, a rise, and a rebirth. She became a symbol of authenticity in a world full of illusions, a reminder that real strength often grows from the darkest moments. Her music has healed millions. Her resilience has inspired even more, and her journey proves something powerful. The story of Kelly Clarkson is a testament that no matter where you start, no matter how many times life tries to silence you, your voice can still change everything. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more Stars and Scandals documentaries.